Hola Brad, I'm Maria from Caracas. I have had some huge setbacks recently. I ended a bad relationship, lost my job, and have had to move out of my hometown. I'm really stressed. What can I do to get back on track?
Great question. I'm really happy to talk about hitting rock bottom and reaching a place where growth is inevitable. Quite often we see failure as something personal when in reality there is no failure. We wouldn't say to a child who falls over on his first attempt to walk as a failure. We know that life is a process. Life is not a problem to be solved, it's a process. And perspective is key to that. So today we're going to talk about reaching rock bottom. What it really means. I'll talk to you about some of the things that have happened in my life, and I'm going to give you 8 steps to follow once you feel that you've reached rock bottom in order to get to a place where your momentum will increase and life will really come to you. You can make that space where good things happen. I can guarantee you rock bottom's a great place to start. So if you're there right now, I think it's great, and I think we can really move from there. As always, I'm going to start with a quote, and that quote is, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." J.K. Rowling. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Now, if you want to know something about failure, research J.K. Rowling, who obviously wrote the Harry Potter books. I think she had her manuscripts rejected up to 100 times, and she was a single mother with children, writing from a cafe during the day, using the cafe's free internet connection. So she's now gone on to be incredibly successful, but the failures defined her, and she didn't allow the failures to define her, and she saw it simply as an evolving process and is now in a really good place to help others. So from me and my perspective, I've seen through many of my clients and my own personal history that rock bottom is a place where you can no longer lie to yourself. The ego has manifested a lot of problems, as it does. It creates debt, it creates bad relationships, it creates grasping and attachment, and ultimately the ego drives you to the unfulfilled rock bottom place. Now, there's no sunlight at that rock bottom place, and there's nothing to feed the ego. So it's a beautiful place to be, because the ego all of a sudden can't continue to lie to you, because you can't look around you with your circumstances falling apart. You start to think, is this grasping, is this, wanting that the ego keeps telling me I need to be better, I need something more in my life, I'm not good enough. This may not be true. So you get this great glimpse into how the ego is just thoughts. It's not you, and it's not helpful. And then from there, the starving ego can be defeated as you look past to go away from those thoughts that have not served you. So I've reached places like that, and I've thought to myself, even in my most darkest moments, I've thought to myself, what is the problem? And the problem is thought. The problem is the ego. The problem is what the ego is telling me about this situation. It's not good enough, there's not enough money involved, there's not the right relationships. That was the only problem. So getting to rock bottom should be something we should be very, very happy with. If you have friends or family at rock bottom, you should see it as an awesome opportunity for them to turn their lives around. I'm going to start with the first step of making rock bottom work for you, and that first step is figure out what in your life is causing the most unhappiness. This is really important. I often say to people that I coach, stop doing the things that make you unhappy and you'll immediately become happy. Now, it's important to know what makes you unhappy. It's important to inventory those things and list them, because quite often we lie to ourselves and say, no, my job's okay, it's not too bad. We try and keep this positive spin on everything. But it's really important to look at your life and say, these things aren't helping me, they make me unhappy, I'm anxious about them, they're not right for me, they feel wrong in my soul, and inventory them and start crossing them out. Stop doing those things, and you'll start to find that your default mechanism, the default switch for the universe, which is bliss, happiness and growth, can start to turn on. Number 2, start doing small things every day to cultivate happiness in your life. So when you're at rock bottom, you'll notice that maybe you're not looking after your personal grooming, you're not spending as much time with friends, you're not getting out to nature, you're not meditating, and really you have to create an ecosystem in which The habits that you're removing, for example, hanging out with toxic people or doing things that don't serve you, you need to replace, because when the universe creates a vacuum, ultimately something will fill that vacuum, and that's actually a physical property of the universe. The universe will continually fill vacuums and will constantly be in flux states. So bring things into your life. Little things. If you've never meditated in your life, don't say, great, from tomorrow I'm going to meditate twice a day for the rest of my life. Small steps. Maybe meditate once a week. Exercise once a week. And slowly but surely bring these habits into your life as you stop doing the things that make you unhappy and introduce things that make you happy. Number 3, turn to supportive friends and family for help. Giving people an opportunity to help not only gives you support, but gives them an opportunity to live that true purpose, which is to assist others. Be careful who you speak to. Obviously, you want to go to someone who has been successful in moving themselves out of a rock bottom state before, and you want to make sure that those people are enlightened individuals who can really see past the societal conditioning that, things like you need to get a better job, you need to get a bigger house. Those are the sort of things that will not help you leave rock bottom. 4, eliminate things that cause you stress. Now, watching the news is a great example of that. I understand that, people like the news and they tell me I like to chill out and just see what's going on. What's really happening in the back of your brain is fear and flight hormones are being released. Now, you're desensitized to that in the same way when you drink caffeine now. It's not like you did 10 years ago, so you don't even notice the effects, but caffeine's still having an effect on you. So removing things that are stressful in your life, that you may not even consider stressful, is really important. Ask yourself really, do I need to watch the news every day? Do I have to turn the radio on at 12 o'clock when I know the news will be playing? Removing these little stressful things from your life are incredibly important. 5, repeat the affirmation, everything I need is within me now. Everything I need is within me now, because it's the truth. If you need courage, it can only come from here. If you need love, it can only come from here. If you need stress and anger, it can only come from here. Everything I need is already inside me right now. It's an affirmation that allows you to see the world a little bit clearer when things get busy or you're in the rock bottom place. Number 6, follow your passions unabashedly. Your passions are your passions. They're your conduit for living your true life. You don't even know why you're passionate about certain things. People are passionate about the weirdest things. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago about someone was collecting teaspoons from around the world. That's their passion. Go for it. Of course people will not understand because it's not their passion, and they're not there to understand. They're there to follow their passion. And I can promise you, in a world where everyone follows their passion, the world will be a much better place. 7, get into a flow state where your mind stops ticking over. There's no problem outside of thought, and anything can be done when you're not thinking because you're in a clear, beautiful state. Now, Western society tells us we need to be thinking, analysing, really mulling over our options. What they're really saying is you should worry about everything. When your mind is free, ultimately you become default button turns on happiness and you become creative. We all know that when you're in the shower, the best ideas come to you. We all know that when you're with someone, you forget the time. When you're enjoying something, you're thinking of nothing else than that topic. Get into flow states. Now, it's easier said than done. The best way to get into a flow state is to do something you love. Do something you love and allow that flow state to continue for the rest of your day. Number 8, the most important one, start right now. The story you carry around with you on why you've hit rock bottom, why the world is unfair, why you are where you are, is great. It's just a story though, and you can grab that novel, throw it away, and start right now. The beauty of that is that if you don't do it today, you have an opportunity to start immediately tomorrow. However, that sort of thought process should leave you. You should just be of the opinion that if I am doing the right thing right now, I am the right thing. Ideas of will I do it tomorrow and ideas of I missed out yesterday should just vanish. It gives you ultimate power to come from the present moment and to change everything around you. It's normal to hit rock bottom. What's incredibly interesting is that as you become more an enlightened, more of an understanding being, more connected with yourself, you're more likely to hit rock bottom. What's happening is the infrastructure around you is crumbling, the societal conditioning, the belief systems, the things that keep you in a box and keep you as a good little tax-paying citizen start to evaporate. Now, the influences still come in, the media, the radio, we all live our friends are still saying the same stories, and it drives a lot of people to rock bottom. Quite often they'll turn to either drugs or alcohol, television, or quite often they'll try and stop their growth process in order to remove the pain. But what I suggest is that once you start reaching rock bottom, it's a fantastic sign that you're ready to grow wings and become the true you. Hitting rock bottom doesn't need to be terrible. In fact, as we can tell in this conversation, it's really enlightening. If you know someone who's in that place, you should embrace them, you should hug them, you should spend time with them, because this could be the most important stage of their life. I appreciate the journey we're on. I know there's going to be difficult times. You may be at rock bottom, or people around you might be at rock bottom. Quite often I hear all the time in either comments or emails that they found the 1-year life transformation system at just the right time, or sometimes people say, I wish I would have found this a little while ago. You found it when you found it, and you're ready to change right now. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.